Now, where are we going to see my batteries? Well, the EVs. We're going to take a look at an EV outside this late morning. This is not an EV class. This is a general lithium-ion battery awareness class, right? But we are going to take a little bit of a look at that. Work with our friends over at the ESA to get more on that, on the EV extrication and other things like that. But we see EVs happening up everywhere. I just told you about my charger. We got a Tesla outside. Heck, the Cybertrucks are just getting made north of here. Everything's starting to go EV. Not everything completely. Heck, we still have a lot of internal combustion engines out there. But then government's pushing, and there's a wave of the EVs coming across. That comes with its own hazard. We have our micromobilities, the micromobility devices, our scooters, our e-bikes, our wheelchairs. That is the huge issue that the inner cities are facing right now. FDNY has a scourge of these. That is a huge issue. San Francisco has recognized that they just updated the code. You can't have no more than 4 micromobility devices within any of the domiciles in multi-unit residences. We are trying to recognize the hazard of micromobility devices. Handheld portables. That's correct. Your cell phone. No, wait, your air monitor. For my firefighters, your devices, your mobile devices, any of our portable devices, any of our handheld tools. We have lithium-ion batteries freaking everywhere in our handheld devices. And the big one that provides us a huge hazard, my energy storage systems. Right there is a multi-megawatt system out in Richland, Washington at the Tri-Cities at the Pacific Northwest National Labs that's certified to NFPA 855. Heck, Teeks gave me a heads up down in College Station. They had a fire. I saw the pictures. It looked identical to this energy storage system. We can talk about those big ones, those commercial ones that I know are coming in here. Without a doubt, we've got to store that energy. We can talk about the small ones that are in people's garages. That's going to kill you just as bad as the big ones. And they both come with different concerns. So these energy storage systems are coming up everywhere. What else? Battery-powered planes? You betcha. Well, what happens if the battery dies? Well, we'll just recharge it. How are you going to recharge it? Compressed hydrogen? Wait a second. You're going to put compressed hydrogen on a plane next to batteries. Are you serious? Yep, absolutely. They're going full throttle. Union Pacific right outside right now, their rail sign. They're working and looking at doing electric locomotives. And out where I'm at, we've got ferries. We got the largest ferry system in the United States. And right now, all of our ferries are running on either bunker fuel or diesel fuel. We're looking at shifting on over to hybrids and electrics. With Captain Green and their energy response team, we ended up doing a walkthrough, start talking about what would happen and what are your guys' plans if an EV catches fire on the deck. Maybe we need to put a battery blanket on it. Maybe we need to cool the deck. Maybe we need to figure things out. And they started talking to us like, you know what our plan is? Full throttle, go to the closest port. Luckily, our ferry transports are only about an hour maximum, maybe an hour 15 maximum. Most of them are less than half an hour, right? So they're just like, throttle, I got 15 minutes and I'm there. Just call the fire department, have them waiting. It's like, okay, time out. For the EVs, you better turn around and probably go back to Seattle or go back to Tacoma. Because if you're going to a volunteer department, nothing against any volunteer departments, we just understand they don't have as many capabilities as the large-scale departments. So maybe you might want to turn around. Even if it's a 45-minute haul back and 15 minutes that way, you might want to turn around because they have more resources, possibly, right? And then we sat there and started talking, like, well, what are we going to do when these things get electrified? It's like, wait, what now? That's going to be a great question. We'll address it as it comes. And that's what we've been doing already, as we address it as it comes, right? That's a big thing we sit there and take a look at. And I know there's a lot of people in here that are thinking the same thing that we thought when we were walking across that day. It's like, why don't you just push the car into the Puget Sound and then the problem's gone. They stopped, because it was a joke. They stopped, they looked deadpan at us like, we would never push a vehicle into the Puget Sound. It's like, ooh, there's a lot of politics going on here. And it's important for us to understand. We are in an emergency response world right here. I'm not trying to do a politics of left or right or other. With all of this, it comes on down to a discussion. If they were to put a car and dunk it into the Puget Sound, that would wreck them politically in our political environment, right? Over there on the West Coast. That is massively a massive detriment to them. So one of the things that we've had difficulty with is having classes like this across the nation, because a lot of people think we're saying bad things about batteries. No, we're trying to respond and make sure that we are safe to the hazards. Because the last thing I don't care about the PR nightmare of dumping a car into the Puget Sound. That's bad. I'm worried about collapsing a building because of an EV fire in a structure. That's going to be much worse PR. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to predict and plan and prepare for that.